The hidden signal that redefined success. It didn't arrive as a breakthrough. It arrived as an irritation, a small inconsistency buried inside otherwise healthy metrics. Something easy to dismiss, easy to rationalize, and far too subtle to trigger alarms. And because it didn't look like opportunity, it was ignored. For years, success had been defined clearly. Growth rates, market share, efficiency. The company hit its targets with precision. Reports glowed green. Performance reviews reinforced the same conclusion. They were winning. But behind those numbers, a quieter signal kept repeating itself. Customers were succeeding differently. They weren't using the product less. They were using it in narrower ways. Fewer features, shorter sessions, faster exits. On paper, everything looked fine. In reality, value was concentrating instead of expanding. The product was solving problems, just not the ones customers were growing into. To understand why this mattered, we need to rewind to when success metrics became blinders. Dashboards rewarded scale over depth, efficiency over exploration, completion over creativity. The company optimized for what could be measured, slowly drifting away from what actually mattered. And the hidden signal, the one redefining success, didn't fit neatly into any chart. It lived in behavior. Advanced users trimmed their usage to the bare essentials. New users reached outcomes faster, but discovered less. The product felt useful, but no longer expansive. And that subtle contraction carried a warning few recognized. This is where the reveal begins. Because the signal wasn't indicating decline. It was indicating saturation, a ceiling disguised as stability. And once the company recognized that success itself had changed shape, the question was no longer how to grow faster. It was how to redefine what winning even meant. Once the signal was acknowledged, it reshaped every conversation. The company returned to the data with a different question. Not how much value they delivered, but how value was actually experienced. And what they found was unsettling. The reveal deepened. Customers weren't disengaging. They were optimizing. They trimmed their usage to the fastest path between intention and outcome. They ignored features designed to increase stickiness. They avoided exploration unless forced. The product had become efficient, and efficiency was quietly replacing discovery. Internally, this created tension. Teams had spent years improving performance, reducing friction, and shortening time to value. By every traditional metric, they had succeeded, but now those same wins appear to be narrowing the experience. The product worked so well at solving immediate problems that it discouraged curiosity beyond them. Leadership hesitated. Redefining success meant questioning the very metrics that justified budgets, bonuses, and strategy. It meant admitting that growth measured in volume could mask stagnation in depth. And it meant accepting that the next phase of value couldn't be optimized the same way as the last. The conflict intensified when small experiments tested the theory, when subtle prompt encouraged exploration instead of speed. Advanced users engaged more deeply. When flexibility replaced rigid efficiency, sessions lengthened in meaningful ways. But these changes also disrupted established flows. Performance metrics wavered. Some users resisted. The system revealed its bias toward completion, not expansion. Then the risk became clear. If success continued to be defined narrowly, the company would optimize itself into irrelevance, highly effective at solving yesterday's problems, invisible to tomorrow's opportunities. The hidden signal wasn't asking for more features or more speed. It was asking for a broader definition of success. And embracing that meant confronting a deeper challenge. Whether the system itself could support a product designed not just complete tasks, but to invite growth beyond them. Because redefining success wasn't a surface change. It was a structural one. The realization exposed a fault line running through the company's foundation. The system had been engineered to reward speed, certainty, and closure. Every workflow guided users toward completion. Every metric reinforced efficiency. And while that design had fueled growth, it now resisted the very behavior the company needed to encourage next. The conflict escalated sharply. Designers argued that exploration required space, moments without pressure to finish. Engineers warned that loosening rigid flows would strain infrastructure optimized for predictability. product leaders worried about confusing users who value clarity. Leadership faced a deeper fear. Redefining success could destabilize a model that justified their dominance. The emotional peak formed when a broader experiment went live. The team introduced pathways that invited users to linger, branch, and build beyond their original intent. The experience felt different immediately. Some users embraced it, discovering new value organically. Others hesitated, unsure why the product no longer pushed them forward as forcefully. Metrics became volatile. Completion dipped. Depth increased. The dashboards told contradictory stories. And beneath those contradictions, the truth emerged. The system wasn't failing. It was revealing its bias. Infrastructure built for efficiency struggled with open-ended behavior. Data models optimized for linear journeys lagged behind nonlinear exploration. Performance issues surfaced in places that had never been stressed before. The product wanted to expand. The foundation resisted. This was a turning point. The hidden signal had redefined success and now demanded a system capable of supporting that new definition. Incremental tweaks would only mask the tension. If the company wanted to move beyond task completion into sustained value creation, it would need to rebuild the core assumptions beneath its product. Silence filled the room as the implications settled. Redefining success wasn't about changing metrics. It was about changing architecture. And that meant risking short-term certainty to build a future where success wasn't measured by how quickly users finished, but by how much further they could go. The final decision loomed. Either protect the old definition of winning, or rebuild everything to support a new one. They chose to rebuild around the new definition of success. Not because it was comfortable, but because the hidden signal had stripped away every illusion. The future they were moving toward could not be supported by systems designed to rush people toward the exit. If success now meant depth exploration and sustained value, then the foundation had to change with it. The reconstruction began beneath the metrics. Workflows were redesigned to allow pause instead of pressure. Data systems were rebuilt to track meaning instead of mere motion. Infrastructure once optimized for straight lines was reshaped to support branching paths. The product stopped asking users to finish quickly and started inviting them to stay intentionally. Progress was uneven at first. Some metrics dipped. Old benchmarks lost relevance. Teams had to learn new ways to measure impact. But slowly, something undeniable emerged. Users who explored created more value over time. Engagement became richer instead of faster. The product evolved from a tool into a platform for growth. This was a climax. The hidden signal that once irritated analysts had redefined what winning looked like. Competitors who continued optimizing for efficiency struggled to replicate the depth forming here. Their products moved fast, but went nowhere new. This company moved differently. It moved outward. In the resolution, the lesson became clear. Success isn't static. It shifts as users grow, markets mature, and expectations evolve. The danger isn't missing signals of decline. It's ignoring signals of transformation because they don't fit familiar definitions of victory. The hidden signal mattered because it revealed not what was broken, but what had changed. And by listening, the company didn't just protect its future. It redefined it. Subscribe to join the journey. The hidden